Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the NS9 Postgame Show powered by Primanti Brothers. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we got Neil. Neil, we don't have the same show that we had last night. I'm sorry.
No.
You don't get the Doug experience.
No.
But Pirates lose today 9-0.
The Pirates know when I'm on. I'm convinced at this point. They know.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Today was awful.
Let's do this. Let's just replay last night's show, and you as a listener, whatever we say, just understand it's the opposite. Make it real easy for you. Make it real easy on us. Let's just get out of here. How's that sound?
We can all go to bed. We can forget about this game. That sounds great. I like that idea.
Yeah, because it was completely the opposite of last night. Just completely. The Pirates had, what was it, 4 hits? 1 walk.
We had more home runs yesterday than we did hits today.
We had as many home runs as they had base runners today. Yeah, it wasn't that good, but we'll stick it out. That's what we're here for. We'll give you all the news so we can have our group therapy session once again. Before we do, of course, BetOnline is your #1 source for all sports betting needs this season, from baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind in one of our 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE, that is BLEAV, for your 50% bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. BetOnline, the game starts here. So, Neil. Martin Perez took the mound today. Now, he came off the IL, didn't look too sharp, had a very nice bounce back game last time. So we thought going into this, like, okay, you know what, maybe he's fine. But he returns to the stadium where he had his very first major implosion this year. And, yeah, it looked about the same.
Wasn't as bad. It was an improvement. But, yeah, I'm not really feeling the Martin Perez experience anymore. It's been bad for a while, which really sucks. But like, he hasn't been good since April. Coming into today, since April 14th, I think he had a 5.81 ERA. And this is just more of the same. You can't keep trotting him out here if he's going to pitch like this.
Let me give you the other side to that. He was very, very good early on. I mean, at that point in time, because Mitch Keller hasn't really found his way. Jared Jones was looking exciting, but he was still giving up earned runs. You know, like the ERA was like hovering around 4 for a good bit of time. He was like hands down like the anchor of this rotation for a bit of time. Now, you say about the ERA since then. It's not that you're wrong, but he had the 9 earned runs in Milwaukee that we just talked about. And he had the 6 earned runs in Atlanta coming off the IL. Outside of that, he really hasn't given up more than 4 earned runs. And I mean, since let's go to May 3rd, right? Since April, we're talking May 3rd. His earned runs in every start since then was 3, 4, 9, 2, 1, 6, 1, and then of course today's. So like he's given you good starts. It's just been very inconsistent at this point.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I just with the offense being the way that the offense is,
yeah,
and it's not entirely fair on him. It's not entirely his fault, but I do not feel solid whenever he takes the mound. And maybe it's because we've been spoiled by starting pitching this season. But his ERA is over 5 now. He's making the 3rd most amount of money on this team right now. It's not good enough for what we need. And I mean, if he's not the odd man out when like someone else gets healthy, who is?
Fair.
Reeser?
And I think it is coming down to that.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I think it's one thing, and trust me, I'm not saying Pirates fans are not spoiled in any manner, but because the pitching has been so good for the Pirates, I mean, honestly, before injuries, right? You have Mitch Kelly, you have Paul Skeens, you have Jared Jones, Bailey Falter doing their thing, right? Luis Ortiz is looking pretty damn good right now. We saw Quinn Priester come up yesterday and shove.
Mm-hmm.
Like this team has the benefit of having like a Martin Perez possibly go into the bullpen, which maybe he is that guy that's going to be there, as you're alluding to. But honestly, like what I'm talking about here too, and trying to say is Martin Perez is a fine number 5 pitcher for pretty much any ball club. He's going to give you, for the most part, some innings. It's inconsistent, but he allows the team to win more than not. It's just when he's off, it's a complete implosion at this point in time. Like he's fine as a number 5 starter for a lot of teams, but the Pirates have the luxury of they have some really deep pitching that their number 5 is as good as some people's number 3.
Yeah,
their number 6 and 7 right now is as good as some people's number 3.
I guess for me is like he doesn't eat the innings consistently enough, and he's too prone to blow up to be like a number 5 on a team that has better aspirations than say like the 2023 Pirates. Like it's really like watching Rich Hill again, and I don't think anyone would want last year's Rich Hill on this team, and so I don't know what. Besides being one of the few healthy arms we have, I don't know what value Martin Perez really has right now. I mean, yes, he did have that really good start last time out. But I think what you just listed off, he's given up more than 4 earned runs in like half of his starts in that time period. I don't know if that's good enough. And yeah.
Well, he's given 4, including today's game, 4 more earned runs in 4 starts. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 starts is 4 or under 4.
So, I mean, yeah, you're right. He was the anchor for like that first month of the season. He looked really good to start. This is a team that has playoff aspirations, and I don't think he's good enough for that.
Yeah. And again, like that, you're totally fair. This is a team that has a pretty deep and good, like it's not just deep, it has really, really good, talented pitchers. And the way Martin Perez is pitching currently, he's not going anywhere right now. This team's going to need Jones to come back and Falter to come back, right? But I think the writing probably is on the wall. Like when one of those guys come back, it's going to push somebody out. And if Quinn Priester continues pitching the way he is, and maybe it is Ashcraft that comes up, right? I think Perez probably is either one or 2 things. Goes to the bullpen, or it actually becomes a trade chip. Like I think that's a possibility, even for a team like the Pirates, who, if they even do add, they might have the luxury of trading someone like a Martin Perez. Maybe it's going to depend on some health. But again, that's just where I'm at.
I don't know who's buying Martin Perez. I don't know.
Played him off as last year's Rich Hill, and Rich Hill was a trade chip. So
true. I don't know if we're gonna get that again. Again, like I think someone pointed out to me that there was a buyer for Austin Hedges last year, so maybe there's always a buyer, but I don't know what a team would be doing if they think Martin Perez is going to help them in a playoff push. Because
either way,
I think my biggest criticism is that we were sold on a guy that could eat innings, that could go deep into starts and like save the bullpen. And I don't think he's done that good of a job at doing that, which is something you need at least from a number 5 starter who isn't going to be very good.
Fair enough. Either rate, though, he wasn't good tonight. And since coming off the IL, it's 2 starts that weren't good, mixed in with the 1 start that was. And as someone here said, before, and it was tonight, like he wasn't missing bats at all. He only missed 2 in the entire game, 2 whiffs. So of 42 swings, just 2 swing and misses, 1 off the sinker, 1 off the changeup. Yeah, it wasn't good. And just to kind of have this in here, the strike zone, I'm not I'll say it again, I'm not a big blaming the umps type of guy, but he was getting squeezed a little bit here. And again, that's not why they scored the 5 runs off of him. But he was getting squeezed a bit there. Pretty unlucky on some stuff. But again, yeah, he doesn't have the swing and miss stuff. He wasn't getting the swing and miss stuff early on either, too, for the most part. Like when he was good, but you have to be on point with your pitches, your location, and he just hasn't been.
To his credit, like he was getting quite a few like painted pitches, like getting called strike threes early on. But yeah, like when you're a pitcher who doesn't throw hard and you're entirely dependent on location, you miss, people are just going to hit it. They're going to hit it far. And I think that's just what's happened. I think as the start grew on, is that he couldn't keep locating. And yet the squeezing definitely didn't help. But no. But the thing is, it doesn't really matter what Martin Perez did, because we could have had Paul Skeens out there tonight and it wouldn't have mattered.
Well, true, because the offense didn't do a thing.
No.
Yeah. 4 hits. Brian Reynolds, Rowdy Tellez continuing their MVP case, I guess. They each got a hit today. But of course, right, like it didn't mean much because no one behind them did anything with it. And it wasn't like anyone hitting home runs or whatnot. Tellez was able to stretch it out to a double, though. Tellez showing the wheels also today. But yeah, they got a hit. Palacios got a hit. And then Jared Trill got a late hit. And Jack Swinson got an early walk. And that was your offense. That was it. And nothing strung along. Nothing strung together. There was one time I think that they had a guy on first and third, right?
Yeah, in the 7th.
Yeah.
And then, well, I feel bad. Brian Hayes has been so bad this year. But, man, I can think of so many examples of him hitting the ball well and either going straight to a guy or handing it up just enough in the gap to be caught. Like, the guy can't buy a hit. And, neither could the offense tonight. It was pretty bad.
Yep. To your point, though, like I want to bring this out here. I mean, again, like it's not an excuse. He was 0 for 3 tonight with a strikeout, but that double play that he hit into was hit very hard, well played. I just want to say something here too. Like the Brewers had some really good defensive plays. I mean, not that Kutch was robbed of a hit; it was a foul ball, but a great catch, to make that an out. Rhys Hoskins, I thought he couldn't play first base. I thought that's why, that would have been a terrible signing for the Pirates. He can't play first base. That guy looked like a Gold Glover out there today. He was robbing hits right and left, literally right and left. Yeah. So again, the bats were bad, but there was also a lot of unlucky hits tonight for them that just makes you shake your head. It's just they're playing in Milwaukee. This is what happens.
Yeah, no, I think even the broadcast that sometimes you just know it's your night. And yeah, it was the Brewers' night. But I think the comments have been saying that it really makes no sense how you can go from looking so good to then looking so lifeless against not even an amazing pitcher. They faced Tobias Myers, and he was having a pretty good rookie campaign. But you got to hit off of him. You got to give this team a chance, and they didn't do that at all. They let him go 8 innings. 8 innings of shutout baseball.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I would let him.
Your bullpen.
Yeah, no, I don't blame the Brewers one bit. I'm just saying, the Pirates got to do better. We got to do better against guys like Tobias Myers.
Right.
It's not acceptable.
Yep. You thought maybe they're going to break this streak, right? Because since April 6th through 8th, it was the last time they had 3 straight wins in a row. Also, they haven't had any 3 losses in a row either. But regardless, you thought maybe today was going to happen. I mean, the bats, have been looking a lot better recently.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, it always comes in one game and they go cold. The matchup, Perez looked better his last outing. It is Tobias Myers. Like, hey, maybe they can squeeze this win out. And then you got Paul Skeens tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is there a chance they could sweep? You know, like that's in the back of your mind. The way the bats broke out last night. And then they do this. This is what the Pirates do. They make you feel not all in. They're not talking like after last night, oh, they're the playoff team. There's still a lot of warts and stuff on this team, but they make you feel like, okay, like it can be done. Like the offense can come out, you know, and Riley's playing much better. Brian Reynolds has been Brian Reynolds, right? Like those two have been fantastic. If some of these guys can just kind of come out and give you something, but it seems like they just all go cold at once again. And that's what happened tonight. That's just like the frustrating part. If they could just find a way to score 4 or 5 runs every game instead of doing it in bunches where they scored 12 and 1 and then get shut out today, you could live with it a little more easily. But that's just what they do. It just drives you nuts.
It's awful because where the Pirates are, like in the standings, like you need to go. It doesn't have to be like a 10-game win streak, but you do need to be able to rattle off these 3 or 4-game win streaks because other teams are. And yeah, we keep hovering around 500, but we're not gonna like jump over 500 or get even close to a wild card spot if like they don't start stringing wins together, stringing a couple sweeps here and there. You know, we're only 3 games out of a wild card spot right now, but we're 4 games under 500. And it's not good enough to keep treading water like this because the Cardinals have blown past us. The Mets are over 500. The Giants are still there. The Diamondbacks are still there. Like, you got to take advantage of what they've been given, and we haven't done that yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's this whole season. Just the operative word is just frustrating because you see a path where they can be better, and they display it like last night. Hey, you know what? They could win today, and they have Paul Skeens coming up, and it's Paul Skeens, and he hasn't lost the game yet. Now, of course, offense has to come through still, you know, but it's Paul Skeens, and you know, Savali's pitching, and like there's a real opportunity they could win that game. And if they win that game, I mean, that's still 2 out of 3, you know, with today's loss. Then you have the White Sox series coming up, and it's the White Sox. The Pirates can find a way, you know, like there's this path that they could be at the All-Star break and, you know, be about a 500 team. And then you find things out. And then again, like I said, like they do this today. It just makes you feel like, gosh, like they are who we like just think they are. We got to stop getting suckered in. Like there's a chance they can get to 500. And all we're asking for is to get to 500.
Yeah, they are who they thought. They are who we thought we were. But I mean, no, and that's like the frustrating thing is like, you know, I think that they even have some like really bright spots recently. Like, Rowdy Tellez has been crazy good. I think Joshua Palacios has added a real spark to this lineup. I mean, he got really unlucky tonight. He killed the ball tonight, and I think he only got 1 hit to show for.
Yeah, but I think Reese was also one that took Palacios away.
Yeah, like, and Palacios still hasn't struck out since coming up with the team. Sawinski's even hitting better. His OPS is over 600. Like, it's really weird how like we can keep focusing in on like individual success stories where like, yes, Nick Gonzalez has been good. Joshua Palacios has been good. Rowdy Tellez has rebounded. And the offense still remains like this. It's impressive.
Yeah. Like I'm trying to we get hard on the Pirates a lot. Clearly. You know, but it's like I'm trying to find some optimism, and because I'm starting to feel a little bit of it with the offense, and I don't know if it's close to. And by breaking out, I mean just like being adequate. But that's what we're talking about. Like since Joshua Palacios has come up, and we all know how I felt about him, you know. But at this point in time, like I'm okay with it because the offense was so bad, right? But since he's come up, he's looked fine.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's like as far as actual production goes and his numbers, he's been more than fine. He still has an OPS over 1,000. It's 1,046 today. So he's been more than fine, but like as an eye test and everything, he looks fine. And Jack Sawinski, like since that time also, he's looked better. I know his like overall numbers don't like stand out tremendously, but like to his credit, he had some really bad at-bats with the umpiring. And I say that because we all know that one at-bat were the two strikes that were just forcing fastballs, or two, I forget which one. It was a fastball that just under the strike zone, never in the zone that were called. And then that's what the game that Shelton got ejected with, right? We had the two strikes on him, then he struck out swinging. Like that was just horrendous, and then he had the one where it was actually foul tipped and got called a strikeout.
Oh yeah,
right. And they never challenged it because the game is out of hand. Like we're just not going to do that. Like so, there's like two strikeouts that just like wasn't really much to him, his actual skill set to the most part, as it was just circumstances. But like eye test, he's looked better, and again, like you talk about Rowdy, we talk about Brian Reynolds, they looked better. Brian, like slightly better, it's not much, but like he looks slightly better.
I guess. I don't know.
Nick Gonzalez has been doing like he's been doing, and like Joey Bart, less Grandal, more Bart. I like that. Like there's things that make you feel better about the offense. Again, it just comes down to me, like just more consistency. They just go like today. Just everyone's cold. To score one or two runs is just an impossible feat for them.
Yeah, and again, it wouldn't have mattered tonight because the pitching wasn't good. Like it was an overall just like bad performance around. But yeah, like especially for an offense that had been so bad, like you just want to see a little bit of like game to game consistency because it happened the last time again when we put up like 12 on the Mets, right? Like I think we outscored the Mets something like 21-12 or something in that series, and we won 2 games.
Right.
Because we just don't we don't do it on a day-to-day basis. And I don't know what the solution to that is besides maybe employ better players, but like I have no clue how to fix this.
Well, I don't either.
I'm at a loss for words.
Right. But it just kind of is what it is at this point in time. But again, like the good thing about it is they have scored 10 plus runs basically 3 times in the last week. That's something. Like we know they can do it. The offense has been doing it more than they have recently. Like I don't know, man. I don't know. But that is a positive. Like the offense has come more alive.
It has
kind of jokingly, but since July 4th, right when Palacios got called up, which is this past week, they have the second most runs in baseball. It's just they've all come in 3 games, and then they can't score again.
Yeah, it's hard. Like it really is hard because like you're right. This is much better. Like this is objectively better than like what we've had, and we're still not satisfied. But I really just feel like one solid win streak is like would like change the feelings we have around this team, and that's just the one thing they're incapable of doing. They can't win more than 2 games in a row. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this, even from a bad team. I don't think I've ever seen just this long run of not being able to win games in a row. It's impressive.
Right. It's weird. Yep. Oh, I don't know. There's not a whole lot more to talk about.
No, not really.
I guess other than that, like Honeywell came in, he went 2.1, gave up 1 earned run, had a strikeout, 2 walks. And then Ryan came in and he pitched the 1 inning. Of course, it was out of hand at that point in time, but the 3-run bomb, he gives up 3 earned runs today. Yeah.
Our back end bullpen options aren't very good, but like you said, that's where Martin Perez can come in.
True, but something of note, it was Jared Pruger today kind of alluded to the fact that they're not expecting Barucki or Bednar to pitch for Altoona again.
Okay.
So it sounds like the writing on the wall that they'll be returning.
Mm-hmm.
So like those reinforcements are going to be huge for this bullpen, huge for the pitching in total. I mean, we know Bednar is part of the back end of the bullpen, right? The closer is coming back, so that helps. Less Chapman closing games. But then someone like Brian Barucki is going to be huge for this team, because finally getting some of that length back that you were kind of like excited about for this bullpen. Like, not only was it good at the back end, but there was like some real actual length, and that depleted pretty quickly. So, with Barucki and Bednar coming back, huge for the bullpen.
Hopefully Cruz is back in the lineup tomorrow too.
That's also very positive too. That was also reported that no longer is Alika Williams on the taxi squad. You saw a video from No Hiles that Cruz was running pre-game. So to me, I expect tomorrow's Paul Skeens day. Paul Skeens is pitching, and I'm assuming that O'Neill Cruz might be in the lineup.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. Yeah, and hopefully Skeens versus Savali round 2 goes a little better.
Yeah.
But I'm always happy to watch Paul Skeens pitch. That'll be fun.
Very much.
And I don't have to worry about work tomorrow, so.
Well, lucky you.
Have everyone else can have fun, like peeking at the MLB Game Day browser on their work screens. I'll have it on a TV. It'll be fun.
Right. Well, I think that's it for today. Unfortunately, of course, no sandwiches if you didn't notice. But we'll be back tomorrow. Who's on the post game tomorrow? Do you remember? I forget.
I'm pretty sure I am.
Is it you and Cody?
It sounds about right.
Okay. So there it is.
It is.
We're good, Neil. You don't have to.
Okay.
Whoever it is, they'll be on.
It is me and Ryan tomorrow.
Oh, you and Ryan. Okay.
Yeah.
So there it is. So Neil and Ryan for Paul Skeens Day. Again, it's a bad night, but there's still real good opportunity the Pirates can still win this series. And again, it's the team that's in first place. So you take that series. It is a positive still.
Yeah.
No. And then again, they have the White Sox, and they go to the All-Star break, and it's the MLB draft on Sunday. So a lot of good stuff coming up still, regardless.
Yeah.
Neil,
I'm excited.
We out of here?
I think we're out of here.
All right. Appreciate you all for watching, for listening to the podcast, of course. Thank you. We'll be back tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.